Welcome, 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 welcome. Rod, rod. As you as you cover your face of disappointment, this this final week 18, and all right. Before we even get into everything, let's start with the pleasantries, man. This is, of course, the Fin Out of Water Football Show. You can catch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now, man. Make sure that you're active in the chat. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you can leave a comment and comment hearts, stars, or whatever the hell it is, man. Let's catch this algorithm, and we can't do this without you guys, man. Now, with the pleasantries out the way, Rod, what a poetic end to another disaster season for the South Florida home team, the lovable losers of the South Beach. Disco Drives, Lennox Drives finest boys, the Miami Dolphins. Um, yeah, not only did you guys lose and what could have been an opportunity to make it to the playoffs, you lost to the team that you did not want to lose to the most personally, which is the New York stinking Jets, who were able to
Man.
beat you guys 32-20, man. So let's just get this out of the way, man. And let's just get this conversation out of the way, man. Let's do a temperature check,
Oh
man. Where are
man.
you today? Where are you currently? And where are you with this team as it stands in 2025, Mr. Rob, man?
Hey, uh, first and foremost, man, I just want to say what's up, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have much to say on Herb's poetic intro. But look, Herbie, I think many Dolphin fans will feel me when I say this. Like, this game isn't even worth talking about. Like, this isn't even a game worth. We lost, Herbie. We lost to the Jets, man. The Jets. Ah, but Herbie, let me tell you something. If the Dolphins have a season where we go 2-15, if we beat the Jets twice, I'll live. I'll live. I'll live regardless. But that to me, if we're gonna be terrible, let us just beat the Jets, Herbie. And we couldn't even do that. And I get it. We had Tyler Huntley playing. Shout out to Snoop throwing 2 picks in the first half. Shout out. Uh, the defense, obviously, for whatever reason, Herbie, the Dolphins defense decides that they want to make Aaron Rodgers look like how he used to look. Like his two best games were against us. Okay. Um, Listen, man. To be honest with you, Herbie, you said it perfectly to start off the show. This game was a microcosm of our entire season, right? Just 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 falling behind and failing to catch up. We did it in the first half of this game. We were catching up in the second half just to fall short, and that has been the mark of the season dating back to week 2. And I think a game like this, Herbie, and really the way this season has gone, especially when you consider the first 2 years of Mike McDaniel's tenure here, it doesn't like we're going backward. We're going backward, right? You make the playoffs your first 2 seasons. Obviously, Tua getting hurt is going to hamper, not expectations per se, but it's just going to hamper your ability to do the best that you can do for this team the way it's constructed. But damn, Herbie, knowing, and this game is a truly the perfect sample to use for the Dolphins season. You waited too long. You waited too long to get yourself a competent backup. They wanted, for whatever reason, Herbie. I guess Skylar Thompson is Mike McDaniel's Call of Duty buddy. I don't fucking know, but they held on to him too long. You know what I'm saying? You never invested in a viable backup, knowing that your quarterback, who you paid, is injury prone, is a guy who you have to always consider that factor. Tua had 2 separate injuries this year, Herbie, that have held him out of games. The concussion that put him on IR, the hip injury that kept him out these last 2 games. And this ended up being a game where we could have used him, even though in the end, the Broncos completely annihilated the Chiefs backups. So in the end, even if we would have won, it wouldn't have mattered. but still, you still want to see the team come out, show some life. You know what I'm saying? Show some drive. Show you know what I mean. You want to show you can't do that against the Jets. The defense held early, and then they just kind of just gave up. You know what I mean? And that's what this team just did this season, Herbie. They gave up on us. They gave up on. It's a fucking shame, man. Like, I'm at a loss for words at how
I
this
see it.
season
I
has
see it. I
gone,
see
bro.
it.
Like,
Relax, man. Just take some time to yourself, man. This is we've been doing this for 18 weeks. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing the video version of this podcast for 3 years. We've been doing some form of iteration of this podcast for 13. I want to say, well, we started in 2012 or was it 2014? Whatever. It's been a decade in some capacity, on and off. This is the first time, and it pains me to say this, but this is the first time I have seen the Miami Dolphins truly break your spirit, Rod, man. They truly
man.
did the impossible, dog. Like, there was a deep sigh of just disappointment. You don't have anything else to say. And that's when it's bad. I don't want you to become me. I don't want you to become desensitized. I don't want you to become dead inside. I don't want you to become a version of what I am when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, a person who just does not care. Because somebody has to care. This podcast is done, bro. Like, we both can't be apathetic to our football teams, dog. Like, somebody has to give a fuck. All right.
Herbie, they make it hard, man.
They
They
do make
make
it
it
hard.
hard.
They make it
Man. They
hard.
make it
Let me get to
hard,
this
man.
comment real quick, man. El Smooth is in the chat. Shout out to El Smooth,
Hey,
man. What's
shout out
going
El
on?
Smooth. Appreciate you,
What do
homie.
y'all think about Chris Canty saying Joe Burrow is not elite? We will have a full conversation in regards to our biggest disappointments. That's a little later. We want to go ahead and get the Dolphins portion of the podcast at the end of the day, because this is the Dolphins podcast before it's a full NFL podcast first and foremost. But I will say this: spoiler alert, Chris Canty's an idiot, bro. There you go. There's nothing, there's nothing else to say.
What is it? You know what, Herb? I just want to throw this point out there. I don't get, like, you would think that a former NFL player would just say a lot more credible things, but these motherfuckers are no different than the fucking analysts.
They
Like,
are, because what happens, and a lot of times, and I hope this never happens to us personally, is that you get to the point where you follow numbers versus follow what you actually believe in this game, because it's a numbers game. Rage bait, clickbait, that shit wins. You feel me? Sometimes I have to do it, and I don't actually love doing it in regards to, us putting our content out and stuff like that, having to be salacious or having to have catchy titles and stuff like that. So I try to toe
it's a
the
part of the
line.
game, though. That's the
It's
thing.
a part of
yeah.
the game, but I try to. But you'll never hear me say that Joe Burrow is not elite. That's just stupid, dog. You don't have to. You don't have to go that far. All right?
Crazy. That's just
You
nonsense.
don't have to go that far to say that Joe Burrow is not elite. You're basically saying Tom Brady is not elite. Peyton Manning
Herbie,
isn't elite.
who in the history of football has ever thrown for 43 touchdowns and was not considered an elite quarterback?
Come on,
Like,
dog.
let's be
Come on,
real.
dog.
Come on,
Come on,
man. Get the
dog.
fuck
Like,
out of here, man.
He's been to a Super Bowl. Did he win? No. But he's been to the Super Bowl. He has a lot on his resume in a very short amount of time. So no. As a long roundabout way to answer the question, no. We have no feelings or thoughts about what he's talking about, because he's tripping, bear. All right, another comment for the homie L Smooth. The Dolphins got so much potential, man. It's no way they should not be at home in January. But this comes down to being
Smooth, listen,
healthy.
smooth. You're talking. I'm sorry to cut you off,
Now
Herb.
go ahead, Rod.
But,
This is your team, bro.
but
Have at it, man.
no, I appreciate his comment, because I'm assuming he might not be a Dolphin fan. Like, he might be an outside observer with, like, an objective eye. You're absolutely right, Smooth. You're absolutely right, my boy. The Dolphins are a team that do have a lot of potential, but the problem with this team always seems to be, no matter what talent that we have, is we don't execute when we need to execute. This is a team that has had execution issues. This is a team that has had talent disparities at positions where you shouldn't. And all those things, they come together. Injuries have been, Herbie, I can't remember the last time the Dolphins by December weren't beat to hell. And listen, I know every team in the NFL deals with injuries, Herbie. Like, the Dolphins aren't the only team, but it just seems like half our team is on IR, or is just not available for the final games when we have our most important games of the season. And Tua. Tua is a perfect example this year, but even last year, the 1 year Tua was healthy the whole season, or he played the whole season, right? Because his first year they just didn't start him right away. Herbie, everybody else was out. Waddle was hurt. Tyreek was limping, fucking running routes. Like, we were starting with, I think we had like two of our offensive lineman starters by the time we got to the playoffs. Like, half the defense, like Herbie, team was beat to hell. Lost both of our starting pass rushers last year. Lost them. We didn't have them for this year. Like, it's just the Dolphins are just a steaming pot of of just being unlucky mixed with poor execution, mixed with poor decision making from the top of the organization all the way down, from the ownership, from the front office, and even the coaching. You know what I mean? Like Herbie, I don't want to see Mike McDaniel call plays anymore, man. I'm sick of it, man.
Okay, so that's a conversation for another day, and we would definitely have that conversation because I don't think that's a conversation that's going to go your way. But again, we have a whole off season to have this.
Of course.
We have episodes to do till August, till training camp, bro. We have all the time in the world to have that conversation. But I want to ask you something because what is this going on? How many years the Dolphins have won a playoff game?
24 years.
24 years. You guys have not won a playoff game. That is insanity. Like, that's insanity.
Disgusting.
I am
disgusting.
I'm 35. I was 11 the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, dog. This is gonna sound very.
We were in middle school, Herbie. We were in middle school. I remember.
But like this, we're gonna put this in proper context. I didn't even know how to properly beat my meat. But the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, dog, I didn't even know the concept of that, bruh. Like, I didn't even understand the concept of that. Like, that's how long it's been since you guys have won a playoff game, dog. Like, this is like, you guys are a bad franchise. At this point, we just have to call it spade with a bro. You're a bad franchise at this point, dog. And it sucks because there's so much potential, but potential does not mean anything. Potential is just a word, bro.
If it's untapped, Herbie, it's meaningless. Yeah, it's meaningless,
All right, man. So El Smooth is a Falcons fan, and he messes with the Dolphins, man. So, El Smooth, man, you can go ahead, leave it in the chat, man. How do you feel about Penix? How do you feel about Drake London? How do you feel about your team going into next season? Do you think it was the right move to get Kirk Cousins up out the motherfucking paint, man? But in the meantime, man, is there any last words that you want to go ahead and have before we transition to the next part of the pod and talk about this 2024 season as a whole in a macro sense, sir?
Yeah, man. Just parting words for the Dolphins. We're gonna obviously have the whole offseason to talk about this team, Herbie. But if I'm a Dolphin fan, I know my fellow Dolphin fans, I know many of the fans who will see this, they will feel me on this, Herbie. This team makes you feel at times, year after year, they make you feel like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? Like, Herbie, you watch a game like the game we seen today, and you ask yourself, Herbie, what's next? What's next? Oh, and you know what? I forgot. I wanted to do this, Herbie. This is a list. I have a list here. I forgot. I almost forgot. Perfect time
man,
before
let me get that list, man.
Let me get that list,
man. Let me get that list, man.
Hold on 1 second. I had screenshotted it in my phone. I'll just read off of it, Herbie. These are players. All right. This is a list of players who might have played their final game as a Dolphin. So the light at the end of the tunnel is not getting better. Calais Campbell, probably gonna retire.
Pretty much.
Javon Holland. Yeah. Tyreek Hill. Teron Armstead.
Cap casualty.
Emmanuel Ogba. Cyril didn't contribute too much. I think he was a special teams guy. Raheem Mostert. Jeff Wilson. Man, get Liam Eichenberg the fuck out of here. God, I hope he's gone. Benito Jones. The D-line depth, Deshaun Hand, River Craycraft, which are all these guys in some form or fashion were regular contributors to this team, some more than others, obviously. But Herbie, the tides are changing. We are talent deficient in the offensive line. We need players on defense. You have a third of the fan base, maybe even more at this point, calling for the quarterback. It's just like the entire there aren't any Dolphin fans that finish this season. Yeah, we have the 13th pick of the draft, which another middling pick because we love being in the middle, Herbie. I saw a meme before today's game that said It was one of those SpongeBob memes where he's holding something that goes old reliable and then opens up and it goes 8-8 Dolphins. Like, yeah. Yeah. 8-8 is the old reliable, Herbie. 8-8 is the old reliable. 7-9, 9-7, the middle. The fucking middle. The Dolphins love being in the fucking middle.
The way that
dog.
y'all started 1-7 and finished 8-8, and then y'all started 7-2 and finished 8-8, bro. It was just
Herbie,
incredible, man.
The 500 gods we are cursed. The 500 gods won't let us go, man.
Okay, so anybody who's new to the channel, anybody who's the first time watching, we have a running joke on this podcast that we've been doing this for 3 years, the video form, right? That the Dolphins have been cursed by the 500 gods, and for 3 straight seasons, bro. The only reason why they not 500 is because it's impossible to go 500 now with 17 games in the schedule, dog. You cannot go 500 anymore. And other than that, the Dolphins would be 500 for 3 straight seasons, man.
We had one outlier with the 11-6 season last year.
True. But still,
majority, like if you go back the past 10 years, 7 of our records are either 7-9, 8-8. Like, dude, easy.
Okay,
Crazy.
man. Let's brighten the mood before we bring it back down, unfortunately, man. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and transition over into